Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of TV is Our Real Mom. I'm your host, Dave, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister, Katie. Katie, what is up?
Well, I'm pissed, as I usually seem to be after these episodes. But all in all, it was an exciting little showdown they had last night. So excited to talk about it, I guess.
Cool. So you're just mad because Lauren is gone.
Well, I'm mad that Lauren's gone. However, I'm more okay with it because it's not like she got serried. She went home because she made a foolish mistake, and that's on her. And she knows it. It just sucks that it had to happen like that. It irks me that Ben was the one to get her out. That doesn't sit well with me. But what are you gonna do? I'm a little bit mad at all the props that people are getting, like Mike and Ben, who I think should not be getting any props whatsoever. Maybe Ben a little bit more than Mike, but did they play well last night? In my gut, I say no.
I don't know. I think Ben is playing a pretty good game. But that's only like results oriented, as they say, because like things are actually breaking his way, and when you know that, like when you consider that, it makes his game look like awesome. Like it looks like he's kicking ass. But I mean, I guess I get what
If
you're saying. That
if he
it's go
if he
ahead.
didn't have an idol last night, if he didn't have an idol last night, did he play well?
No.
Nobody trusts him anymore.
Yeah, nobody trusts him. But that's the thing. Idols are part of the game now, and we can talk about that later on too. Because I'm getting like, I want to talk about how
Yeah,
frustrated I'm getting with. I think there's too many idols. Like it's really getting out of hand.
yeah. I'm
Um,
over it. I'm really over it. I kind of want a season, and I think a lot of people do, where you just have a clean slate. Like we don't need something crazy in every episode. I just want to see gameplay for gameplay's sake. Like with all this nonsense, you have someone like Mike who has no clue what he's doing, has never been in the game as we've seen, and just has this weird idea of what makes good TV and what Survivor is, and it's these big moments. And so, without even really thinking, he throws this thing into the fire for the sake only of TV, and then ends up voting out the person that could have, indirectly, because of what he did, the person he wanted out. Or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
I think I know
Lauren
what you're trying to say.
could have could have stayed if he had not done that. He just did that because he watches Survivor and he wanted to have a big moment when that moment meant nothing but the end of someone's game who could have worked with him. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just
Granted, he did throw the idol in the fire before. I think he was intending to vote Lauren, and then they all changed. The vote changed. I do believe the vote changed. I think they were supposed to vote Lauren out, um,
mhm.
but and it was going to be a blindside too. Like she wasn't planning on playing her idol. I don't think she felt like the need to play it. Obviously, she didn't.
Right.
But you know, so the vote was going to be Lauren, but they decided to vote for Ben. So I think the change in vote happened after Mike threw the idol in the fire. So to give Mike a little credit there, that explains a little bit why. Because I see what you're saying. Like if he throws her idol in the fire and then doesn't vote for her, that doesn't make any sense. But I really do think he's just like, oh well, that's I can't take that back. But we're gonna vote for Ben now. They had no idea about Ben's idol. And
Right, but
so,
that's
so if you want to
to
talk
me.
about what Ben did right and how he did play a good game, you could talk about how the big theme of that tribal council, where Ryan and Ben are talking about, oh, you got to keep the only power is the secret. The secret is the power, and then Jeff ends the tribal with the only thing that mattered was the one thing that was kept secret. And so if you want to give Ben any credit, give him credit for keeping that idol secret and playing it with nobody knowing about it.
Right,
That's what
that's the
basically.
only thing of all the bananas stuff he did last night. That is the only good thing that He did. That anybody did, really. Like, and Dr. Mike, things happen to him, but not because of him. It's not because he's involved in anything. People need him for a number, and suddenly you get a confessional from Dr. Mike saying, "Oh, look who's back. Don't underestimate me. I'm so good." No, Mike, you did nothing. They just need you.
Yeah.
They just need you, and you're never going to figure this out. He's just like a mishmash of big moves and ideas about Survivor, but has no idea really how to play. And I didn't see what other people were seeing, how he played so well last night. I didn't see
Yeah.
that at all. To me, it
I
was
don't
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been awesome gameplay if Lauren, if they just, if Ben wouldn't have mucked up the works, you know? And I guess to say awesome gameplay is like taking it a little far, I guess. But it would have been like a cool move on Ben's part. Definitely a villainous move, a dick move, but an exciting move nonetheless to have like taken Lauren's idol and been like, I'm gonna vote you out now that you gave me this. It's very similar to Sarah Lucina taking like Sierra's advantage and being like, thanks, goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a bold move. And but because of all the Ben stuff, Mike can't take any credit for that. So it's, yeah, I agree with you. It just turns into him just like basically taking credit for other people's work and making
Mm-hmm.
flashy much ado about nothing. So
That's what he is. Dr. Mike is much ado about nothing.
yeah. So do you think he's going deep? Like, is he going all the way now, or is he just gonna get cut loose?
It's hard to say. I think if it ends up being Ben, if he gets his druthers, I think he might take Mike, but I don't think anybody wants to work with Ben anymore. They all voted against him. So
Yeah.
like I don't know what avenues he has left. If he finds another idol next week, so help me God. This season is just it's irking me. It's become interesting the last couple weeks, but it's just it sucks when you see unlikable players do well, like not even through their own. I mean, Ben found the idol fine. I'll give him props for that, but like stumble into doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
when did Ben become so unlikable to you? Like, I remember it wasn't maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago you were still on the Ben train.
Before the merge, I liked him, but then when he was really with Chrissy and just, I don't remember, but there was a turning of the tide, and I'm not the only one who felt it. And to be honest, it really hit home last week when Joe got voted out, and he was like fist, pumping like a freaking child. That really rubbed me the wrong way. And he's just, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. Sometimes he says something funny, and you're like, okay, I do still kind of like you. And he's really funny on Twitter, but he's not who I'm rooting for, and I'm not rooting for that many people at this point, but he's not one of them. And I know I'm always the naysayer lately, but it's
Well, I
just
don't know.
how I
Yeah,
feel.
it's
It's a
like
person.
I think about it. I'm like, does Survivor like ever end well for like? Are we ever satisfied with like
Yeah.
how? Because by
Oh, for
by the
sure.
time by the time it's like going the way we thought we would have liked it to go, we hate the people we originally liked, and so there's like no
No,
winning.
look at Millennials Gen X. I mean, that had a very awesome ending that was very
Yeah,
satisfying
yeah,
to
and
most people. Game Changers was a bullshit ending that nobody wanted. But it still was the saddest of the bunch. It was probably one of the best winners we could have had.
winners, but not
Um,
final three. So
no, no. Like she
yeah,
was the lesser of three evils.
yeah.
Um, but she did play a good game. And
Hmm.
when I'm looking back on Triple H Survivor in a year or so, perhaps I'll be able to, analyze it with some distance and without such like just not liking these people. And there are still people I like. I like Devin. I'm liking Ryan again a bit more. But Chrissy, Ben, and Mike, that's the trifecta of what you don't want, what I don't want.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you make a good point there. If you think about millennials versus Gen X, it's like there's one guy that could win it, and we're sort of looking at it like, oh shit, it does not look good. Like, I don't think Adam's gonna win, and this season sucks. But like because the one good outcome happens, you're sort of like, oh, that was awesome,
No,
great season.
I wouldn't say that. I would have said there were a lot of good outcomes on Millennials versus Gen X. When you went into the finale, you had David, you had Jay there, Brett was still there. The only two you didn't really want to win were Ken and Hannah. And, so we had a good outcome either
And you
way.
didn't like
I
Brett.
mean,
You
most of
didn't
the way.
like Brett either. So really, you were looking at like David and Adam sort of as the
I
like I'd
like
be
Brett as a
okay.
character. He was not playing to win or playing a winning
Yeah,
game.
I'm just thinking back to like when we were podcasting around that time, like I remember just saying like, I remember that was the sentiment. It was like even David, you were like, I don't want David to win. It's like Adam is the only
No,
way
it's
this
true.
season. I'd like to listen to that because I'm pretty sure that's kind of where we
Well,
were at. We were like, there's only one good outcome. Even though looking back on it,
well,
like
one
David would have been fine and Brett would be funny and but
it was hard to imagine a more emotionally satisfying conclusion than Adam winning, which is
right.
why that's what everybody wanted.
Right. There's only one way that could have gone because because the Adam thing was so amazing. It is truly amazing that that happened.
Right.
Anyways, to bring it back to why we're talking about that, it's just
Right.
that we don't know how this season's going to end yet. We don't know what's going to happen in the next two episodes, the one episode and the finale. So lots can happen. We don't
Apparently,
know
it's a
who's.
lot.
It's a lot. Why do you say that, or
It's a
why do
lot
you say that? Why do you
because
say that?
everybody says that. Like Jeff Probst today said, you thought that was crazy. Next week is even crazier. And Joe on Twitter is always like, "Oh boy, you guys don't even know what's coming." So I'm just bracing myself for
Well,
some crazy shit to go down.
I got to admit, I did enjoy this tribal council. It was exciting and
Well, yeah, it
interesting,
was
and
crazy.
yeah, so um, yeah, so it was good. Just yeah, I don't know what can happen next week. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know either,
I don't
man.
know what's
I'm
coming.
worried for the three semi-likable people we've got left. I'm worried for them because
Right, and I'm not. I'm
they're
not.
throwing twists and stuff.
I'm not totally
I
out
don't
on
know.
Ben myself, but um, I would like to sort of try and pinpoint what he's doing wrong. And I can sort of, for me, it's like when he's starting to when he's starting to gloat so much and like get so excited, that's like a terrible move for your
Look.
long-term game because if he gets voted out next week, that will be why, because he was unable to
Mhm.
contain this. He had a good thing going and he just like couldn't just keep it under
Mhm.
control, you know.
Yeah, even after the tribal council where they voted out Joe, and it was clear that Ben made it known that he had been with Devin and Ashley and Lauren, and everyone knows, y'all know I don't like Chrissy, and she was Chrissying pretty hard after that tribal council, but it was not the move for Ben to be like, why do you always get like that whenever someone, even though he was right, where he was like, you always, if someone goes against you at tribal council, he's the bad guy. Like he should have just been placating her. He shouldn't have been like antagonizing her. I mean, you've got 6 or 7 days left in the game. I know she's annoying, but you gotta suck it up because he needed her by the end of that episode, and she was not having it.
Yeah, Ben is definitely not a game bot, you know. He's an emotional person. Like
Hmm.
he feels things and he can't help but react to them. I mean, granted, Joe was really going after him when he got him. He was poking the right buttons, you know, and so that's why he
Hmm.
reacted so emotionally at that point. But even yeah, like you said with Chrissy, it's a visceral reaction. He's like kind of like a kid. He can't help himself. He's like kind of gloating that he got away with
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and just kind of rub it in Chrissy's face. And they both have a point on that. Like she's right that he's
Yeah.
being kind of a dick, and he's right
Yep.
that she needs to be in control. When she's not in control, really she acts like a
Mhm.
child too. She's immature in her behavior as
Yeah.
well when things aren't going her way.
They both really are. And the two immature surfers that they were mocking last week are like, they're always so calm about stuff. And it's like, maybe that's why they're doing well. If you guys would just calm the F down, maybe you
Yeah,
wouldn't get so paranoid and crazy and people wouldn't be after you.
Yeah, Devin and Ashley about to calmly get voted out of the game, though.
They're not going to get voted out of the game.
Well, let's
What
talk
do you
about that.
talk?
What is
You
Devin
think?
think? What is Devin thinking in the challenge when he? I mean, of course, it's true. Everybody knows they're a tight duo, but like
Mhm.
that doesn't give you an excuse to like flaunt it even more, right?
No, no. But I don't think that was any more, like blatant than that didn't make them any more of a target. You think that makes them more of a target than Ben next week?
It's tough to say because a lot can happen in 3 days, and he's not the only threat. I mean, Ben is a threat, but you got to be looking at like jury votes. Is Joe going to
Hmm.
vote for Ben? I don't think so. Um,
No.
who else?
Joe's not
Like,
the only person on the jury.
let's look at the jury. Desi, Cole, all those guys. Do they like Ben?
She could vote for Ben. I don't know why she wouldn't vote for Ben if he was up there against like Chrissy. Of course, Desi would vote for Ben.
Yeah,
I don't know who Cole would vote for. He and Ben have had their issues, but I don't know how he feels about Chrissy. JP would vote for Chrissy. Joe would, I don't know if it was
I
between
don't
Ben
think
and
he'd vote for
Chrissy.
Ben.
Ooh,
I
he'd
don't
vote
think
for
he
the
likes.
third person,
Yeah, the third person exactly. I think a lot of the jury would vote for the third
whoever that
person.
is.
There's a lot of scenarios here where it's like you got a Ben, a Ryan, a Ben, a Ryan, and a Chrissy, and
Yeah,
some combination, and then that other person. That other person is winning because of bitter juries.
right.
You know,
I
so
didn't like how Devin said that he thought Chrissy could get votes at the end. And I'm like, what game show are you watching, Devin? Because not from where I'm sitting.
the only way she could get votes is if people could like be like, "Damn, she's like really smart, and she like she had a stranglehold on the game. Like if she gets to the end, it's because she freaking made it happen. Like she definitely was working at it, and the only thing bad about her game
What
you
did
could
she
really
do?
everything from the beginning of the season that we were all saying like Chrissy's playing
Dude,
such an amazing game, all that stuff. You can't take that away from
games.
her now. Just
No, but her social game since the merge, every person that comes out and gives an exit interview says they do not like Chrissy. Every single one of them. That's not a good social game.
no, but social people vote on the jury for different reasons. You never
Yeah,
know
but
what they're
for
going
the
to vote
last
for.
like 5 seasons, it's been like social game more so than anything.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's probably not going to happen for Chrissy, but I do agree that it's possible. It just depends on what they look at and what they reward. And I do think if you just look at like game bodiness, like she's good. She's a good player, but she gets a 0 in social game or maybe a couple points, like 2 out of 10.
I I don't see it other than I mean, tell me a move. What did she do?
She's won an individual immunity. The alliances she's built, the working with Ryan undercover, the bad parts of that I will if I have to start pointing out bad things already, is like when she's talking out loud to her allies, like in front of the people that she's trying to vote out, like
Yeah, dude,
Cole.
Lauren said she did that all the time. Like she would talk to you and then she'd go down the beach and repeat that conversation with someone then where you could see them. You were still in eyesight and you could see her do that. Like she's just brazen about it.
Yeah, I mean, she's just such a
And
huge fan of the show. I'm guessing she's so excited to be playing it. She can't even like stop herself. She's just running from person to person, just nonstop strategizing. I'm guessing. I
yeah,
don't
and
know.
how at the reward challenge when her husband came out and she was like, "I want immunity yesterday." I was like, have a moment with your husband first. She's just it's too much. Too
It's too
much.
much. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I've seen signs of someone who gets the game and is trying to play the game and is trying to win the game.
Mhm.
And I don't think we can forget that just because she's turned into such a terrible social player and everybody hates her. Um, I agree, though. I don't think there's much of a chance that she gets enough votes at the end to
You can
win.
have
But
the best strategic game and physical game. You can find idols without clues, but if you're Russell Hanson, no one likes you, they're not going to give it to you.
yeah.
The
So
end.
of the people left, who would Chrissy have to go to the end with to win if she had any chance?
I think Ben and Mike. She has to go to the end with Ben and Mike. And then, I mean, I would hate it, but that would be an interesting, like, who would they'd have to suck it up and give it to someone. They might give it to Dr. Mike just because they hate Ben and Chrissy so much.
Right.
But I don't know.
That's an interesting thing to think about. Like with such a, because the majority of people on the, is that accurate? That might not be right because Jessica and Rourke got voted out. Boom, boom. So I don't think the majority on the jury is healers. It's kind of a mix, isn't
You've
it?
got three. You've got three there.
So it's 3-3-3 on the jury, or depending on, yeah, we don't know who's going to
Three.
the end.
Yeah, we don't know.
But
Now that I think about it, I don't know that they would take Dr. Mike to the end because he's just goofy and they like him. He throws something on the fire and looks at the jury and they all laugh at him. Like that could be dangerous in their eyes. They said last in
absolutely.
Millennials versus Gen X, they didn't want to take Brett to the end for the same reason. Like you don't have to play a good game for the others to perceive you as a jury threat. And so I don't know, man. I mean, Ben and Chrissy, their only shot is that it's a final two and they go with each other, I think.
Yeah, because even Mike has a
Maybe
chance.
Ashley? Maybe Ashley? I don't know. What do you think about Ashley?
Ashley, isn't terrible at the game. She has her weaknesses and strengths just like anybody else. But like, just like she said, I need to do something big, or what am I gonna say? Like, how am I gonna prove that I deserve to win? Unfortunately, I
Yeah.
don't think this week even worked out because she didn't have any say in switching the vote to Ben, and switching the vote to Ben didn't work. So yeah, so she still doesn't have her big move. It's probably
Hmm.
too late. And so I don't see how Ashley convinces people her game's worthy, especially if she goes with someone like Devin, who people clearly can see more clearly that he is doing something.
Yeah, so maybe the path is Chrissy, Ben, and Ashley for them. That's not
Yeah,
something I want to see. I'm Team Ashley all the way on in that scenario, but I think that might be one of their best shots.
yeah. What's interesting about that too is that's an all heroes tribe. So I don't think you would have
Oh,
any. I don't
gross.
think you have any heroes on the jury that way, right? Was there 3
Yeah,
heroes gone?
JP.
Yeah, JP. Oh, JP's on there. Yeah,
JP's
that's
on
right.
the jury.
But then his vote would have, there would be no
Right.
hero. He would be the only vote. He'd have to pick between 3. So yeah, so that's interesting how that would open up the
Yeah.
hustlers and healers
Mhm.
to, yeah. So an all hero
Mhm.
final would be interesting, but none of the people you want to see are in
Sad.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about Ashley?
Yeah. She's fine. If she made all it takes is one big move, and she's right there with a couple other people. Um, she's won a lot of immunities. Like she's physically gamed herself pretty far into a good position. She's made relationships that are good. She hasn't pissed off a bunch of people like Chrissy and Ben have. Um, so you could say she played the game without having to resort to that sort of thing. Um, so I can see people liking that. I
Right,
think she'd have an argument.
right. Yeah, with immunity wins, I always think about like Mike Holloway and Brad Culpepper. How with Mike Holloway,
Fabio.
Mike Holloway proved that you could like win out, and that would make the jury consider voting for that over somebody like Mama C, who played a
Missy.
Mama
Oh, this is a
C.
different season, isn't it?
Yeah, Mama C, who
I'm
played
so confusing those two
a
seasons.
yeah, who played a great game in a different way, but they decided to reward Mike for his, you know, astronomical odds of winning out. So they rewarded him for that. But then Brad Culpepper pulled off something similar, not enough to beat out someone who played a good game in other aspects, like Sarah Lucina. So if somebody like Ashley wins out, though, I think you probably see more of a Mike Holloway situation.
Yeah, I think so. It depends on who she's at the end with. Unfortunately for her, I don't see her abandoning Devin. I think that is a pretty tight bond, and I think if those two, if one of them goes to the end, I think they're both going to the end. Um, but like I said, everybody keeps saying how the end of the season is so crazy. So you could have the weirdest matchup of people there. You could have Devin, Mike, and Chrissy for some reason at the end. And it'd be like, how did this happen? But,
Yeah, no,
it'd be interesting.
that's what's interesting. I mean, if anything, one good thing you could say about the people left in the game is they are all people that are like they want to try to play the game. It's not like I mean,
Hmm.
look at someone like JP, you know, there's no
Hmm.
agency whatsoever with him, you know,
No.
and he's not there, so
Yeah,
that's good.
true. He's not there. It is good, and I am glad for that. Yeah, I don't know. Should be an interesting couple of weeks down the stretch here. It seems to happen. I remember this happening a lot in like the middle stages of Survivor, where you just get down to the end and you're like, this has a 1 in 6 shot of going the way I want it to. So you just gotta, make peace with whatever happens. And
So you're only happy
Lauren did really.
with Devin. It's Devin or bust for you.
Um,
What about Ryan?
I'm kind of back on the. Yeah, I'm kind of back on the Ryan thing. Um,
So what did they show of Ryan
just
this
seeing him.
week?
Just some. He and Mike seem to be having a little bit of a relationship. Even though there's only 7, he's kind of off the radar. He wasn't mentioned, as a target. Seeing him with his dad was was cute. But he said something so funny at the beginning of the episode where he was just saying how it was a horrible tribal council, and then he's like, "Yeah, but other than that, everything was fine. Everything's good."
Yeah, well, he listed off all the things that went wrong. He's like, other than that, it went really well.
Yeah, yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was a great start to the
Uh,
episode. Definitely.
yeah, no, that made me laugh. I like him better now that he's an underdog. God, I wish he could get like a hamburger or something. He looks so emaciated.
Yeah, I mean, we knew this
Um,
was coming with him, and it's
bad.
terrifying. Really
It's
skinny.
bad. He's Gollum. He's Gollum.
He looks like Gollum. He
It's bad.
does. Yeah. But I mean,
Um, I
Survivor
feel like if
producers.
Devin,
Sorry,
yeah, I
there's a
feel like if
delay.
Devin kind of leads the way to the end, which I don't think it's going to be that straightforward, but if he did, I think he'd be at the final 3 with Ryan and Ashley. I think that's the final 3. Now that Lauren's gone, that he would want. Um, but like I said, I don't think things are going to go that smoothly for him or anyone.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you that I'm kind of back on the Ryan train. You have to appreciate somebody who has the gift of gab being able to keep their mouth shut.
Mm,
Because, like, there are tons of scenes in this
mm,
episode of people or the whole tribe walking back to camp and sitting in camp and hanging out. And Ryan is just kind of like looking around. I mean, maybe he's creeping them out. I don't know
mm,
what the I don't know what the dynamics are there, but
yeah.
he's keeping his mouth shut. And I think
Mm,
in times like these, it's like that's the best thing you can friggin' do is shut up, you know?
yeah. I think Lauren's downfall was she I called her such a boss when she started that 4-person alliance, but the whole thing where we need to all be out up front and tell each other everything maybe wasn't the way to go. Maybe they didn't need that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
pretty
think she was
much.
trying to play this straightforward game because that's who she is. But it just came back to bite her in the ass.
And like why Mike of all people? Like why did she give half the
If
idol to
you
Mike?
know someone's crazy, don't give them your only potentially lifeline in the game.
Yeah, that was a horrible move. But I think it is a testament to like spending
It was.
so long with all these people on the beach and starving and all that stuff and just being
Hmm.
so bonded with a group of people that you
Yeah.
know you trust everybody and you really shouldn't, but you still trust someone like Mike even though you know you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like kind of like a Hail Mary for her. Maybe she really felt she was in a lot of danger. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
I
yeah, if you feel like you're
what
in
I,
a lot of danger, why not keep the idol and play it? That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
that's when you want to hold on to it the most.
Yeah. So I don't get it. Like maybe it's sort of
I
like a
don't get it
thing
either.
like let me show you how comfortable I am. Like I don't want you to think I'm freaking out. Like, look, I trust you guys. I'm not worried about it. Here. This is how comfortable I am. I thought it was a similar move she did with the advantage when she offered it up at tribal council to
Mm-hmm.
like Chrissy. She's like, "You want the advantage? You can have it." It was like her way of
Mm-hmm.
saying like, "I'm not worried. Trust me. Like we don't need to worry." But yeah, that what didn't
Yeah,
work out.
it
Did
did not work
she?
out.
So yeah, this part really bugged me too. I mean, Lauren really did screw up big time.
Yeah.
She was talking about her advantage, and she's like, "It's ripped up. It's ripped up. It's gone." And then Ryan just goes, "So you don't have your advantage? Like you can't play it?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's back at camp."
I didn't even
And
notice that.
yeah, Joe like they show a shot of Joe like burying his head in his hands when she did
Oh
that.
no. Yeah.
Because like she said two different stories. Like obviously just didn't have like a plan for what she was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then yeah, so I don't know if she had the advantage there or not, but
She did. She
oh,
did.
she did. Well, the only thing she
It was in
could
her
have,
pocket.
yeah, the only thing she could have done then to save herself at that point would be to vote for someone other than Ben, with both votes. Which, how is she gonna know to do
That
that?
would have been
That's
smart.
how is she gonna do that though? How is she gonna
Yeah.
know to do that if
She
she
didn't.
has
No one
that
even suspected he had an idol.
right? But that's the thing. If I'm Lauren and I know my idol just got thrown in the fire and people are threatening me after that fact, I might consider doing that. I might consider putting two votes on someone other than Ben. But I mean, you'd have to be really on the spot, and I can't imagine very few people would think to do something like that.
That's some kind of foresight to do something like that.
Well, that's like a returning player, like a fourth time veteran move. Like
Right.
they're so used to the pressure that they think they can think of different scenarios on the spot. It's like a Boston Rob or a Parvati move or something like that.
True. Very true.
Yeah. What did you think of the idol in general, like the two-part idol?
I thought it was dumb. Um,
Not a fan, huh?
I thought I thought it would be a little more substantial than just literally just a random seashell right in front of her podium. Like no one's gonna suspect that. They made it pretty easy on her, which is good because it was Lauren, but if it had been someone else, I would have been like, that's stupid. And it was stupid.
It was stupid. Yeah, I agree. I mean, part of the idol was like a leather string. Like that was
Yeah,
half of the idol. It's like they weren't even
yeah.
trying.
And the other half was a random shell. That was small.
Yeah. Do you think too many idols have been played this season and they just didn't have time to make another one? So they're like, well, what about this? This will work as an
It's
idol.
possible.
I
There
mean,
was
that's
some
all I can think.
half-assed shenanigans in this episode, that's for sure.
And like you said, like the way she got the shell, it was just ridiculous. Like all she had to do was like, and it was right in front of her. Like the production knows she had it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they
Well,
put the
yeah.
shell directly in front of hers. If they wanted some drama, they'd put it somewhere else.
Well, it's just like in when they hide the immunities, immunity idols at challenges, like in the first part of the game, like in Game Changers, they only put it there if you found the clue, and then they put it on your tribe's specific apparatus, you know? So
Right.
since Lauren found the clue, they're gonna put it in front of her thing. Like if Devin had found it, they'd put it in front of his.
But it's such a what
But
is the point of
yeah.
even doing it if you're not going to make it somehow challenging for her to get it and create some kind of intrigue?
Well, we didn't need to worry about that because she told Mike about it anyways. So
Right.
and gave it to him.
But yeah, I just don't get it from a there's some questionable decisions in this episode from production. I don't know if they're like, are they eating out there? Are they starving themselves to
Yeah,
see?
maybe there was like a late shipment of food supplies or something because
Yeah.
yeah, there was some stuff in this episode that I wasn't a big fan of, like the marble thing with the reward challenge. Like that was dumb.
Exactly. Like that's exactly what I was referring to is that
Yeah.
challenge. Like how can anybody get on board with this challenge? I don't know. It's
I
ridiculous.
don't I wanted to see them actually work together, you know? them and their loved ones. Like drawing out of it, there's nothing you can do other than like pray to whatever gods you believe in that they pick the right rock. That you have no power over what's happening.
Right. It's just draw the thing. Like it reminded me of like a Genius game, but there in the Genius there would be some like some agency or sort of like a
Hmm.
gambling thing. You each reach into your bag, then you got to pull one out at the same time, and your goal is to like well actually I mean you know what you have black and white, right? So you have to pick black or white and you have to beat the other person with like a rock paper scissors situation, right?
Hmm.
um and if they did something like that, I think that'd be very interesting, but because there's no agency, it's only luck of the draw.
Hmm.
It's completely boring
Twas,
and
twas,
stupid and
yeah.
horrible and
And with
awful.
most things that fate is apparently in charge of, Ben and Chrissy are the last two standing.
And Chrissy wins.
So I don't know what you want to read into that, but
What did you think of Chrissy's decision to bring Ashley as the fourth person and not Ben?
it was petty. I thought that she should have left one of her peeps back at camp because Devin, Ben, and Lauren had free reign of that beach and they found an idol while they were gone.
Yeah,
Like, she should have put Mike back there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Ryan needed to eat. So I was
yeah.
glad she took him. But I don't know. I know it's tough when it's the loved one's visit too, because that's the one that you don't care. You just want that reward. But I really think it was a mistake to just let those three have run of the beach, which they did, and it worked to their advantage. Not in the end, but for finding an idol.
Right. I also wonder too if she sends somebody like Ryan back there. I think Ryan is such a hardcore gamer type that
Yeah,
he might immediately start trying to make inroads with those three. Like I don't know if she can trust him to do that, honestly. But
maybe.
yeah, maybe Mike is a better option. And I do think that Ben as well, you're right. It was a petty decision. Ben is an easier option to flip back. I don't see any
Yeah.
reason why Ben wouldn't want to flip right back. I don't think Ben has at this point in for the last couple episodes, I don't think Ben has had any real loyalty to anybody. He really is. That's another good thing you can say about him for better or worse. I call it kind of a good thing because it does work a lot of the time to bounce back and forth between alliances. Um, and he's actually pretty good at that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Except now I think now he's painted himself into such a corner by running around like such a nut job getting that to work. And the only reason it did work was because he had the idol. He managed to turn everybody against him and get every single vote against him. And the only reason he's there is because of that idol. All the work he put in that afternoon did not work. They were gonna vote him out. And now I think, okay, he bought himself another day, but he's still persona non grata and people are gunning for him. Unless Chrissy and Mike are like, okay, we can still use Ben, we can get out Ashley for some reason, because Chrissy has to get rid of the last woman standing instead of all these threats around her.
yeah, it is starting to look like less of a coincidence. But no, I mean they voted for Ben. They wanted Ben to go home, not Lauren.
She was about
Um,
to not, though. She had to be
yeah,
talked
she wanted
into
Lauren.
it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We
Yeah.
did. Crazy, man. But yeah, I don't. I know we've talked about this before about what is um the upside of being a pendulum person bouncing back and forth? Like how often does that work? I feel like
Sarah,
I'm wrong about what I just said, and most of the time it doesn't work. Like you get pretty
it
far, but
doesn't.
you don't win.
Well, I think Sarah was one of the first people to play that really effectively and do it all the way to victory.
Was she really
Um,
ping ponging though? Because I mean, she never really went against Troyzan and Brad, did she?
yeah, but no one knew who she was firmly with because she said she was with everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. That
That's
might
just
be
who she was actually with because she can beat them.
Right. Right. That's not truly ping ponging then, though, because if you were truly ping ponging, you anybody could say at the end like, "Oh, I was always with these two, even though you were with these two, then these two, then these two, and then you ended on these two. Oh, I was always with those
Right,
two."
but like Sarah Lacina had Brad Culpepper's wedding band. Like it was a legit thing.
Right. So that's why I would say she's not as much of a bouncer. She was like totally locked in with those two, whether she, you know, admitted it
You
or
know,
not.
I've already forgotten Game Changers, like most of it.
Yeah, me too. Not I
I
don't
don't
remember
even
enough.
remember.
Yeah, to talk
I
about it.
remember very being just kind of disappointed as the finale went on because of the Cerie thing, and then Aubrey went out, and then wow, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Um, yeah, we talked about idols. Too many idols. You think so? Yeah.
Yep,
Let's back off the
too
idols.
many. Step back.
I say like put one in the game that and then tell the person who finds it this is the only hidden immunity idol that there's going to be
In the
this
whole
season.
game.
And then say you better make good use of it. There will not be another one put into play. Let them know up front this is it. And
Mm-hmm.
then you really have to play it right. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And it might change hands. You might
Mm-hmm.
use it as trade value. I mean, there's just so much you could do if it had more value. And when there's too many of them, they lose their value. It's like supply and demand, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Yeah, I would like to see less idols. Like it's a given at this point. Once one gets played, another one's immediately put in its place. And it's like, do we have to do it that way?
Yeah, they shouldn't because if you do it that way, you don't have to question whether or not you should play it. You just play
Yeah,
it and look for another one.
yeah. People
Yeah.
use that as strategy. Well, I'm just going to play this, and the next morning I'm up and I'll find the next one because I know how to find him now. And I don't like that either.
No, I don't
Remember
either.
back in the days of Gary Hogaboom, where like
You
he
mean the
was
first
looking
idol
around?
ever?
Yeah. But remember how awesome it was because you don't even know if he'd found it. And then they went to tribal council and he was getting voted out. And then he played it and he saved himself. Like, I feel like idol plays, well, I guess Joe had a good idol play this season, but I'd say that was the only, and I guess if you like Ben, that was a good idol play last night.
So
No one's
did we
happy about losing Lauren because of it, though.
no. Did we put Gary on our list of real game changers when we did that podcast?
We did. He was
Yeah.
on mine for sure.
Yeah, because he definitely like should be on there. Because like to find the first hidden immunity idol and then actually play it like correctly and save yourself,
Yep.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. The
That's
rules were a
amazing.
little different, though. Like, he played it before the votes. Like, you had to play it before the votes,
Isn't that how it works now?
I
Oh, they
believe.
read
No,
no.
you play it after the votes.
Oh, he played it before anyone voted.
Yes, so they
But
couldn't vote for him. They were going
oh,
to.
oh, it blocked him from being voted for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I
Yeah.
forgot that. Okay.
So that's one of the reasons they changed the rules because that really takes away some of the suspense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. True. You want to talk about the family visits or the family
Anyway.
members at all?
My favorites were no surprise, but Lauren, obviously, her and her sister. I always thought if I got to a family visit or somehow got on Survivor that I would hug Jeff Probst, and I was like, that she made the right move in giving Jeff Probst a hug.
Yeah,
Um,
that was good.
and I just liked Devin and his mom and how they were just laughing. They were so excited and just laughing. It was just really cute. Those were my
Mhm.
favorites.
Yeah, I
I liked
agree.
Ryan and his dad too.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about
Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
it. Let's see anything else. Ben's fake idol.
Pretty good.
uh
But again, petty. Very
yeah,
petty.
like Lauren was right about that, wasn't she? That it was
Oh
basically
yeah.
just a personal attack on Chrissy. It like really
Yeah.
served it didn't serve that much purpose
Yeah,
outside of
dude,
just
that's why I
being a dick
love
move
Lauren. She was like so
on
just
point.
business. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when she got voted out, she was like, "Hey guys, that was good. Play a great game." She was fine. She
She
was
had the
fine.
biggest smile on her face. Like,
Yes.
and I don't know if you watched her Ponderosa video yet. You did?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but someone mentioned like the first thing that came out of their mouth was like, "Yeah, she's just really excited to be out of the game and to get to eat." And then they like corrected them. I think it might have been JP or something. He's like, "Yeah, she's just excited to be done with the game." Oh, but I guess she's sad, of course, to not be playing anymore. But so I think she was excited to like be done with it and eat
Yeah,
food and just like she was over it. Of
I think so too. I just want to say,
course, she wanted to
I
win,
hope
but
one day, I hope one day I find like a job that I love as much as Lauren clearly loves to fish, like
yeah.
for crabs.
Yeah, I mean, like she's on vacation basically, and the first thing she does the morning after getting voted out is go crab fishing, and she's like stoked on
I know.
it.
I thought she was so excited. That was really cool. I like
How
that.
funny was it that Joe went with her too?
Yeah, Lauren and Joe. Man, I wish we could have seen more of that in the game. That would have been cool.
Yeah, were
Oh well.
were did they have like a good relationship in the game? I didn't think they did.
Their exit interviews, they both said they really like each other, but I don't think they
Oh,
work together.
okay, that's cool. I bet
Hmm.
they just had a good time on the jury together after the game was
Yeah.
over.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure that's why.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I think we covered it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
would you
so. I've
have
worked out a bit of my frustration.
Yeah, would you have grabbed the shell out of the fire?
I we say that, but when she talks about it, she said she was in shock and she didn't even think about it. We can say we would do that all we want, but she clearly didn't expect him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she was just too numb to even think that that was a possibility.
Right. And it would hurt to stick your hand in a fire. I mean,
Somehow I think Lauren would be okay.
yeah, I mean, if you're quick, you're not going to get too burnt, but like if you really try to get in there and grab it and you have a
Yeah,
tough time with it, you're going to burn your friggin' hand. I mean, it's
that's true. That's true.
yeah. They talked about know-it-alls last night. And by the way, that was an awesome know-it-alls. We can talk a little bit about that for a second, but um they said that someone mentioned that in Millennials Gen X, like Jeff threw a fake idol in the fire, and Ken actually went and tried to grab it out of the fire, and like apparently Jeff Probst like flipped shit on Ken for doing that.
Hmm. I hear so many stories about Jeff Probst just losing it and
Yeah,
scaring the shit out of people. I wish I could see that. You know what I mean? I
I
wish there was like
know.
a video of Jeff Probst just like
Losing
losing
it.
his mind because people are scared of him.
Yeah,
They're
they
like
are.
really scared of him.
Well, because I think
And I would
he has to.
love to see why.
Yeah, he has to be some like sort of authority figure. He can't really be their
Yeah.
friend out there. And I'm sure it took him a few seasons to
No.
figure that out. That if this show is going to go the way we want it to,
Yeah.
I can't be these people's friends. I have to be more of an authority figure.
Their overlord.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, they were saying that if Jeff Probst throws something in the fire, like it's
It's
by
done.
his hand and it's like magic and it's so don't mess with it. But if it's like a contestant that does it,
Hmm.
it's probably fair game. So
Fair game.
interesting.
Yeah, Dr. Mike's no Jeff Probst. Dr. Mike, you throwing something into the fire doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Grab it. Next time.
Right. And yeah, I just wanted to say about that know-it-alls last night. Like, I loved the Colby stuff last night. In that, granted,
Yeah.
I am a little torn about it because, yeah, like, what did you not like about it, Katie?
What did I not like about it?
Yeah, because
I
I'm
mean,
guessing you feel the
Cole,
same way. What I don't like about it, you feel the same way.
well, I feel like you have something very specific you're about to say, whereas I don't know what I didn't like. I mean, Colby said some kind of obvious things, and you can tell he's kind of out of touch, but because it's Colby and he's been gone from the community for so long, like I didn't mind listening to it,
Yeah. See, I watched the video. You should watch the
you know.
video. It's interesting.
I did see some of
Oh,
the video, yeah.
okay.
Like the first half.
But yeah, like all I don't like is like Colby is still like in his mind he's like a celebrity, you know, even though he
He
says like
said, I'm not a celebrity.
I know, but he's just saying that. Like you could tell, like he's still got that ego, you know. Um, and like the show, he kind of stole the show for a while
Right.
and like lost
Yeah.
himself. So
Yeah.
that kind of bothered me, but at the same time, like it's a two-sided coin. At the same time, I loved it because it was fascinating to watch him like sort of relive his like glory days. You could see him get like swept up in Survivor again, and he even articulated that really well, I thought. And it was
Mhm.
like kind of moving, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely the Colby show. I would have liked to hear more from Burton and Reynolds because they're really funny, and I didn't know they were both that funny.
Yeah.
Um, I could have done without Missy. Like, why? Why was Missy there?
Yeah, threw her in the mix with
But
those three. I mean,
and Mike Holloway and what was Mike Holloway was doing this thing where he was like, or no, was it Chris? I don't know. Someone was like really just talking over Kim Spradlin. She was trying to say something, and even though he was like complimenting Kim Spradlin while he was doing it, I was like, "Yo, she's trying to talk. It's Kim Spradlin. Let her speak." But yeah, I don't know. It was long, but it was cool to hear from all those people that you don't normally hear from at those sorts of things.
right. And I do want to say that like the positive takeaway from the Colby thing like overrides any like negative view I had on it. Like,
No, for
yeah,
sure. I don't even like Colby. I never liked him on the show, but I thought it was really cool to just see someone who's kind of didn't end his experience on the show in that great of a way and kind of has been absent to just kind of rediscover and realize that Survivor means a lot to a lot of people still. So
yeah, that's
that
that's
was cool.
exactly it. I thought that was really cool to see that. And you
Mhm.
could just tell he was like pretty like moved and emotional about it. I enjoyed it. And I do think Kim Spradlin, she needs to be like knocked down a peg because
Yeah, I
because like
agree.
everybody's like kissing her ass, and can we just be honest, man? Like I could have won one world. Like I could have won that
Ye-
season.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and I think she's smart enough to never play again because she can never repeat the success that she had. But then, she's able to say things like, "Yeah, I never felt insecure in my alliances because she had people worshiping at her feet, because she had the caliber of the cast that she did." I mean, her
Yeah, I think
biggest
that's part of it.
competition was Troyzan.
Yeah, yeah, like I don't want to discount her game ability either because I think there's something about her that I think she would probably do pretty well if she played again. She just has the full package, and that's obvious. And there's a reason it was so easy
Mhm.
for her, but I don't think you can take out of it either. Yeah, that the cast, it seemed like a pretty easy cast. I mean, come on. let's
It
not
was.
forget. Let's not forget that.
That's one of the reasons I struggle with. If you listen to the evolution of strategy, Rob always does his winner rankings, and Kim and Boston Rob are like really high, if not one and two. Um, and I struggle with that because he basically his criteria is how in control of the game were they the whole way through, and that's how he ranks it. But it's like, so you're going to give more credit to someone like Boston Rob and Kim who just had people worshiping them the whole way through, somebody like an Adam who just had to fight or had this emotional weight on him. Like there's some, it's subjective and he knows that, but like I take issue with some of his winner rankings is all.
Yeah, yeah, I think you make a great point. I think that is a strong way to look at winners is like, yeah, how much agency did they have, how in control they were, but there's like other factors that should sort of weigh it out for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
It's just everybody views winners differently. I think there's actually Dalton Ross put out a vote that said rank the 34 winners of Survivor, which there are only 33 if I'm not mistaken. But that's America's voting on that, so that's going to be coming out in a few days. So we'll
Can
see
I vote on
what
that
the
now? Is it
nation
too
thinks.
is it too late?
I think they may have just closed. If you want to check on his Twitter, you can. But
Why didn't you tell me
um,
about that?
I forgot. I didn't vote.
Oh, you didn't either? Come on.
So
Lame.
obviously the results are meaningless because my opinion is not in there.
Mm. Dang, that's too bad.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Needs to be in there.
And then we can rip it apart.
Yeah. Yeah, that there's a podcast right there.
Anyway,
We could analyze that criteria
we can do our
and
own.
do
We'll
our
do
own.
our own, yeah.
Yeah, both. All of those things.
Sure.
But yeah, great idea for the next Survivor season there. The cast of One World versus Dave. Without Kim
Yep.
Spradlin.
It's
Put
gonna
me
happen
put
without
me in
Kim.
there instead of her. That's the next season.
Same result. They'll be talking about you the way they talk about her.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I'd be the first person voted out. They're like,
I don't know. They were on a tribe with Colton Cumbie, so I think he'd be the first out.
Yeah. Dave's still on the beach from the first challenge. He hasn't been able to breathe properly
Move.
or walk since that. So yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yep. I suppose we should get into MVPs.
MVP? I don't want to give anyone an MVP. I guess I'll give it to Ben begrudgingly, just because he saved his own ass for luckily stumbling upon an idol and not telling anyone about it.
Yeah, I mean, is there any way to give it to Ryan? I don't think so.
He got to eat a
Chrissy-
cheeseburger?
Chrissy, no. You can't give it to Lauren this week. I'm sorry.
Nope. No, you can't. She's
Yeah, I
done with
guess-
the MVPs.
Guess I'll give it to Ben.
I'd rather give it to Ben than Dr. Mike. I am not on this Dr. Mike hype train that people are suddenly boarding.
Well,
That train
yeah,
can leave without me.
I enjoyed what he did just from it was interesting and we need more exciting things on the show. But yeah, I don't see how it was like some amazing move or anything. Like what he intended to do was pretty cool, like but he ended up voting Ben anyways, so it was kind of stupid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ben's the only choice because Devin and Ashley don't really deserve it either.
Yep. No, they didn't do that much. What I did like though is that even I guess you had the moment at the challenge where attention was brought to them because of what Devin did. But I will say because of all that chaos and stuff, I think they were kind of low on the radar while that was going on.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Can, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do we do? Oh, predictions.
Prediction.
What do we got in the preview?
I don't even know. I mean, I've heard it's just so crazy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of all my faves here and say that Devin goes next. And just resign myself to an ending that I might not like, but will begrudgingly watch and maybe analyze a few months down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I should probably pick Devin too because I've been like sort of 1 week behind on all these picks. Or 1 week ahead, I mean. Like I said Lauren the week before, and I think I said Cole the week before he went. I'm just like 1 week off here. And I got JP right.
Yes, you did.
I don't know. Well, I should say Devin, but I'm going to say Ben. I'm going to say they go for Ben.
I mean, that's the logical thing. That's the logical move.
Right. I don't think a lot of people will be too happy with that, but you know, you don't always
a lot of people will be really happy with that.
Yeah. You don't always make a character look good just because they win. Sometimes you make a character look good so those exciting moments that happen like have more weight to them, you know, and that might be what why Ben had such a good edit was for his big plays so they would have more weight, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say with the exception of Ashley, everyone left in the game has been getting a pretty steady, solid edit all season long. So,
yeah,
if you want to take anything from that.
I don't think Mike has had that great of an edit up until recently. He's getting more.
Yeah, he's been pretty sporadic, but that's the way he plays. So what do you want?
Yeah, and Ashley, if we've gotten anything for her, it's like, oh, I need to do something. Like I'm thinking about what I need to do to win. I need to try. And she's been gunning for Ben. So maybe if they get him out next week, she'll get credit for it. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, maybe it seems to me they're doing that to set up that she might be a finalist that gets no votes or something like that. I don't know.
Could be, could be. Yeah, so
I don't know.
what did the preview show?
The preview shows Chrissy, for some reason, wanting to vote out Ashley.
I wonder why.
I can think of one reason, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that does just seem really weird. Like, I know it's been kind of said that she doesn't have a thing against women. Why should we assume that? But like, it's really weird that every person she votes out is a woman. I don't know.
Hmm.
And she's had a lot of control of who
Yeah,
gets voted out
yeah.
when it's been
The
women.
2 votes where she got blindsided, they got rid of men.
Yeah, yeah.
She was probably like, well, I didn't sign off on that.
Right, exactly. Anywho, we'll see what happens next week.
Right.
And we'll be
It's
back
going to be
next week
crazy.
to podcast about it. So tune in for
Yes.
that. That'll
Hmm.
do it for this edition of the podcast. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at TV is our real mom. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, a comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Bye.